Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 83. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi, hey, and welcome. Hey everybody, happy end of the month of May almost. We're in the middle. We're kind of in the middle. Okay, it's not the end quite yet. I think we have another 2 weeks, y'all. I'm ready. Not that I'm trying to rush through May because, May is a great month in and of itself, but once we get to the end of May, I am finished with school and working. Kinda, and I'll get into that. But hey, everyone, I hope your last couple weeks have been good. Mine have been pretty great. So let's jump right in. First things first, I gotta talk about my new BFF, Chat GPT. I call him Chat. Call him, her, it, Chat. Y'all, I was talking to my friend about this today, which is so funny. She's like, you're doing bad when you message back to Chat. You're like, thank you so much. You've been so helpful. Y'all, so you guys already know that I use Chat for a lot of random things, but Chat has come in clutch these last couple of weeks. I think I've been chatting it up more in the last couple of weeks than in forever, it feels like. And if you go back, I do like going back to see if you have ChatGPT, the app, you can go back and see like all your conversations that you've had. It's fun to go back and be like, oh yeah, we did this. But I'm going to specifically talk about three things, maybe four, I think, that I use Chat for. Now, the first one is a petty use of Chat, and that is you guys saw how everyone was for a little while doing they like on their Facebook pages or whatever were like Chat, they would give it a picture of their family. Now this isn't a new trend, they have done this before, but this time it was like give me an unhinged biography of this picture, and they're using like Easter pictures or whatever. And normally I'm just like, oh, that's funny. I do like reading other people's, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do one. So I sent one to Chat, and it did give me this spill, and it was funny. But the part that I liked was the phrase, it like gave you a little hashtag or whatever to add to it if you wanted to post it. And mine was blessed, stressed, but dressed. If you read the bio, it was like how, obviously we're churchgoers because this was Easter outfit. Apparently we seemed a little stressed because we have a new baby, but we were all dressed nicely to the T. So it was stressed, blessed, stressed, but dressed. And I thought that was just too cute because I've always said with blessings comes stressings, like nothing is ever perfect. Things can be amazing, they're blessings, they're miracles, but they're still life and humanity, right? And so I've always said with blessings come stressing. So the fact that it said blessed and stressed, but I like what it said, but dressed. I was like, yes, like we are blessed. We might be a little stressed, but we look nice. Okay. We made effort. We showed up. But yeah, so I thought I thought like, okay, that's fitting. Thank you, Chat. Like I do appreciate that. And yeah, now I didn't post it on any type of social media or anything because y'all, I was like, I just keep that to myself. But I did, y'all, I do sometimes do the trends. I'm just curious. I'm just like, let me see what that would look like. I know for a while I did the trends where you like show your face and then it AIs you with different hair, bodies, clothes, careers. Y'all, I did all of it, and it was way too fun to do that stuff with. It's fun to play around with that. It is, y'all know, information is just out there. It's terrible, but at the same time, it can be so handy. Like. Okay, so the next thing that I use Chat for, I was like, Chat, I need you to plan me a trip a couple hours away. These are the things I want to do. And when I say it gave some good suggestions, and I was like, okay, what about some nice places to eat? Like maybe cost this much or just good brunch vibes or whatever that I can take the stroller with because I want to take my feet. And it gave me these awesome suggestions and legit. Oh, I'm taking a girls trip with my mom and sister and Fee in like a month or something. And we are going on this trip that Chat planned. Now, did it do everything like book the Airbnb and stuff like that? No, I did that. But as far as like my itinerary, it gave me a pretty good itinerary, and it even was like, "Hey, do you want to? I can give you like a." Not like a map, but I can tell you like which way to go or where to start. So that way you can kind of circle around. Like it makes sense to do this first and then that and then that and then that. And I'm like, that is so helpful. And here's the cool part is I know someone who was from there or who is very familiar with that area. And when I asked them, I was like, hey, this is what chat says that I need to do. They were like, totally. Like, that makes sense. Like, I've been there and I've done that. And that is something that's good to do. And so I was like, look at Chad doing his thing, and it's still nothing quite like human recommendations and things like that because my friend was able to give me even more ideas. But for like a starting out and just kind of being like, I think I want to do this at this location. What's a good thing? What's a good way to do it? And it was and because I'm bringing Fee, I was like, I need something stroller friendly, and it was like, oh, you're going to love this. And so how sometimes it gives you options. If you use chat long enough, it'll be like, do you like this response or that response? Y'all, I choose the response that's like, oh my goodness, yes, that would be such a great idea. Oh, this would be wonderful for you and Fee. Like, that's the chat response I use. So no wonder I'm using chat and becoming BFFs with this thing. I will admit, like now when I think about stuff, I have to decide like, do I want to Google this or do I want to chat it? Because, sometimes if I want sort of a more in-depth answer, I think I do chat. Like if it's a more vague answer, I'll go to chat. If it's something very specific, I think I'll Google it. But anyway, so I've been chatting it up, and then another way that I've used it is that I've been working on writing things, and y'all, I'm telling you, post pregnancy, your brain it does weird things, and writing words and trying to come up with the right words has been everything's been eluding me, right? Like I'm just like, okay, let me think. I know this word. I promise I know it. I'm just waiting for my neurons to fire and for me to think of it. So that's kind of where I've been and trying to just phrase things properly, write things correctly. I have been being like, hey, chat, can you make this sound better? I'm trying to say this, and it is like this really long, run on crazy sentence. And then I'm like, what is a way that I can say this that's just a little more concise because you know what I'm trying to say? And the cool thing about chat is like, it knows what I'm trying to say. Like, oh, you have a really good thought. Here's one way you could phrase it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you. And it is so helpful. And chat will use, my same language, same words, it will give some synonyms if I need it. That's another thing. I totally use it as a thesaurus. I love thesauruses. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that before, that I love looking up other words that mean the same word, but just slightly nuanced. Love it, y'all. I do. And so because I'm like, there's a word that's a little more specific than the one I can think of, right? A little more on point, like even right now, a little closer to the word that I'm looking for. And so I love the thesaurus for that. And since I don't carry around a thesaurus and I don't always want to Google thesaurus because really the thesaurus.com, it's not near as helpful as the chat has been because chat can also say like, okay, throw the whole sentence in here and I can see what context you're trying to use it. And I can give you that more specific word that you're looking for. So let me just say, I've been totally using chat for that. It has been helpful. It has been wonderful. I know I've mentioned it before, but if you haven't got on chat, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and plan you a quick little trip. You guys, I even had it plan. Like I should go through my chat conversations right now and just tell y'all everything that I've done. I have had it plan things for me to do around my city. I'm like, hey, chat, this is where I live. What can I do with my kiddo? Like that day, I was like, I want to do something today. It's so nice outside. I'm at work, but I'm about to leave. We still have a full evening. What can I do? And it gave me ideas. It was like, try this place, go there. If you just want this vibe, go there. If you want outdoor seating, go here. And I was like, thank you. Now, did I do it? No. But was it good to know? Right. Yes, it was. So definitely appreciating chat for that. I have also used it to come up with a meal plan almost. So at the beginning of the week, y'all, last week we went out. I feel like I ate out to eat every single day just because of things that were going on. Like we had the taco truck at my school. That's my fave taco truck. I went out with my friends. Afterward, we went out to eat. Where did we even go? We went to a pizza place. Yeah. We went to a pizza place. And then the next day, I went to Chewy's with my church ladies, which I'll talk about that in a bit. And then I had went to the day before. Where did I go? Y'all, when I say it was like so many days straight. Oh, because it was Teacher Appreciation Week. We also got we got like the potato bar, so I ate that. We got that was one day. We got bagels another day. You guys, I mean, I ate out a lot last week. Um, and y'all, because it was Teacher Appreciation Week, if you remember from last year, certain places offer certain things. And Dairy Queen still offered their free Blizzard for like every day that week. Guys, I went 3 times. I got 3 Blizzards last week. No, you're like, Phoebe, what about your 90-day? Y'all, I said 120 days, okay? Oh, we gotta talk about that too. But anyway, so I 3 Blizzards, okay? Then Joella's hot chicken, if you've ever had one or been there, you got a free meal if you went. So yeah, that's where I went. So I went to Joella's and got my free meal, so chicken tenders and fries. And then this place called Green District was like, you get a $10 salad. Now, what was kind of funny is most of their salads were $10 anyway. So I tried to find the most expensive one that I was interested in, which was only $13, but I got it for 10. So hey. But yeah, so that was all last week. Ate out so much. So this week, I was like, I can't. I mean, as much as I enjoy going out to eat, my body needs to recover. I need to recover. We got to eat in this week. So at the beginning of the week on Monday, I messaged chat and was like, hey, I've got chicken and ground beef. What can I make this week with chicken and ground beef? That's easy. That's 5 ingredients or less. And it takes like 30 minutes to make. And when I say it gave me like, I don't know, 5 or 6 suggestions, I mean, just the ideas. I was like, okay. So Monday night, I did barbecue chicken with vegetables. So like baked barbecue chicken and veggies. That was good. Tuesday night, chicken enchiladas. All right, that was good. Wednesday, I don't think I cooked. Yeah, I don't think I cooked Wednesday. I think I took a break that day because I was like, okay, we have leftovers. We're good. And then Thursday, I made for the first time ever chicken curry. Like Indian style, okay? Because there's you've got Thai curry, Indian curry. So Indian curry, yellow curry. What yellow curry is, I feel like more Thai, but I guess somehow I made it and it tasted more Indian. And it was really good. So y'all, to make this curry, I was like, all right, I want it to taste about as authentic as it can taste. So you guys know how in the past I've gone to like the you know what, the Mexican store. I think it's Guanajuato's. I can't think of it, y'all. I've gone there before and I've gotten tacos and I felt, pretty cool because I was like, I'm in this store where I feel like the one that, who is, I don't want to say the outsider, but who's ethnically maybe doesn't belong. I did another one. So I went to the Viet Hoa store. And so this is where, with our Asian base, so this was Asian food, so Indian and East Asian, I would say. So Chinese, Japanese food, Indian food. And so I went in and I was like, okay. Um, I got a couple of different curry pastes of different brands. I got some gyoza, like the little dumplings and things. I got the spring rolls. You guys, and I got my curry, and I felt like I belong. I mean, did I not know where anything was? And I talked to my husband on the phone. He was like, go here, go there, because he's been there before. And he was like, and if, I don't know, you can always ask. And I was like, I am not going to ask. I was like, I will walk up and down these aisles, every single aisle to find what I'm looking for. So I don't have to ask to make it seem like I know what I'm doing. So I got that. I got some noodles that looked good. You guys, so I felt good getting that, and so I was able to make some yellow curry. And if you're like, what, Phoebe, how'd you make it? Okay, y'all know I'm a simple person. I can't do anything too complicated. So let me tell you my really simple way of making this yellow curry that ended up tasting pretty phenomenal. Okay, so we had chicken, right? But we didn't even have like chicken, like boneless chicken. We just had chicken thighs, bone in chicken thighs. And I was like, not even chicken drumsticks, like not chicken legs. Chicken thighs is what we went with. So I said, okay. So I looked up there, you know how on the back of packages there can be uh, what am I looking for? Recipes. Yeah. Well, on the back of the package was a recipe. And I was like, okay, great. And then I said, Chat GPT, give me a quick chicken curry recipe. So I kind of combined the two. So what I did was in one pan, I put oil, chicken curry, and turmeric because we just so happen to have some. So chicken curry, I would say curry seasoning. All right. So oil, curry seasoning, turmeric seasoning. I don't even know if I added salt and pepper or anything, and I just kind of mix that in there and let it just simmer a little bit. Then on my chicken, I seasoned my chicken. I put the curry on there. I put a little bit of turmeric, not a lot. I put, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and just cover that. I put that literally on everything I season because I'm just like, sure, they gotta help in some way. So I put that on there. Then I put the chicken in the pan with that oil and it cooked a little bit, browned a little bit. If I would do things differently, I would take the skin off the chicken first because I ended up not even really liking the skin. And I would cook the chicken a little more. And I'll explain that why in a minute. So I cooked the chicken and after I cooked it, I took it out because that's what I think the package said to do. And I put in the curry paste that was in the package and coconut milk. And I mixed that up and let it, get simmer and let it build a little bit. And then I put my chicken back in there. And I also added some potatoes I had cut up and some onions that were cut up and a little bit of minced garlic. And then I covered it and it was like put it on low and let it kind of simmer and cook. But I was so worried that the chicken wouldn't cook that I did not put it on low. I put it on medium, like 6. And it cooked it, but then by the end of it, like all the curry, like the sauce was gone, which I really wanted some sauce to like drizzle over my rice, right? But it was very thick and it was mostly gone. And I added chicken broth and everything to loosen it up, and that helped, but it was mostly, I would say, kind of thick. But y'all, it tasted pretty good. And then I made some basmati rice on the side. And let me just say, yeah, it was really good. And it was even better the next day. I think the seasonings really sunk in and got into the chicken. And you guys know, when it comes to like seasoned things, that next day is really where it's at. And so it was pretty good. So I have to say, I'm pretty proud of that. Next time, I'll definitely either add more coconut milk or just let it simmer more instead of cook more so that my liquid stays. But it was super good, super easy. Y'all know that's the life I'm about. So I definitely will be making that again. It was a hit. My husband liked it. I liked it. And so, yeah, it was fantastic. And so, all that to say, so I used ChatGPT to help give me the ideas for things and to help with give me this recipe or, try this. I want to try this. What do you think of this? Um, so totally using ChatGPT for that. Totally did cook this week, which was fantastic. Now, you guys, speaking of AI, just because we're kind of already on it, I just looked at Spotify, like my Spotify episode, and noticed that it gives chapters like for the podcast, like it'll be like she's talking about this right here, talking about that, but the AI makes it sound so good. Like it makes the chapter sound like amazing. Like I'm like, really? That's all I said was this, and it's like, Phoebe covers the nuances of blah da 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 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I have not like literally ever gone to look at the chapters, but now I'm kind of curious. I'm like, oh, what, what is it identifying? And that's cool, but kind of weird at the same time. Like the fact that it can listen and knows all the words that I'm saying and then like come up with the name of the chapters. It's like, oh, you do a lot. The computers be able to do that. I mean, it is helpful in the sense that like it helped me remember what I talked about or whatever, but it was interesting. I finally did go back and I just happened to look at them. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see and be like, what else did it say? Hopefully nothing crazy, right? But the AI is wild, y'all. Wildness. But anyway, so that's my AI. That's my chat being my BFF here lately. The next thing I want to go into is school stuff. Y'all know I got to share school stuff because it won't be too much longer. Now, I do plan on working this summer. I plan to work 2 weeks in July on a literacy camp thing with some students, and I think that'll be pretty fun. Um, and I do look forward to that. Hopefully, I can make a difference in these kids' lives before I'm done. Um, But I plan to do that. And I plan to, I think, work the first week, maybe even two of school, just to just make sure, just to check my benefits, make sure that, kind of taking advantage of all the things that I've already have in place, I should say. Um, and making sure I can and get that part done, making sure the year is completed out fully, and then, figuring out this following year and et cetera, and doing that. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do PDs for the next year, since I'm plan to start the year with my peeps. Like, should I get PDs out of the way? Like, will it come back to bite me if I don't? I don't know. But regardless, I think that's going to be my plan. So we are getting to the end of this year. This is our last. Next week, or this week that this comes out, is our last week with students. And then next week will be our last week with as teachers. And so I am looking forward to that. So you guys, we got field day next week. Let's see, this comes out Tuesday. Field day's tomorrow. Oh boy. Um, Field day's tomorrow. We got kindergarten graduation, I think, on Thursday or Friday. We got fifth grade graduation. We've got the fifth grade cookout. This past Friday, we did our ELD, English Language Development, or Multilingual Learner Celebration for our kids who made a year's growth in their English proficiency. And that's always cute, y'all. Like, it is. It's so nice to celebrate kids. It's so funny because while you're planning it, you're like, oh my goodness, is this even worth it? We're not even doing that much. But they love it. The day of, they love it, and their parents love seeing them. And it's just great. It's celebrations are good. Anytime you can celebrate some people, bring them up, make them feel good, honor them for their hard work and effort, it's worth it. Even if it's something small, even if you're just saying thank you or, hey, good job here, just highlighting that stuff is so worth it. The kids were so excited. But anyway, so that we just did that. We just finished KSA testing. I think on the last episode I mentioned that it was coming up, but we are done. For you, thankfully. Uh, testing is y'all. Testing is its own thing. Okay, we had some tears. We've had some kids who could care less. But we made it as teachers and students. We made it through that part, so that is a relief. So we're getting there. We're getting to that last little bit of school now. I do have to share. I was outside at Wellness, which is what they call recess these days, at Wellness with one of my first grade classes and co-teachers, and I was just sitting there chatting with the teacher when. I mean, a swarm of students came running up and they're like, so and so lost his tooth, so and so lost his tooth. And he comes up with a little bloody mouth and he's holding what we think is the tooth. And we're like, okay, let's see it. And it's so funny because the teacher was like, let me see it. And he puts it in her hand and she's like, oh boy. But it ends up being just a rock, like a white rock. And she's like, I don't think this is your tooth. And she's like, this isn't a tooth, this is a rock. And so we send the kids back out. So they all go running. I mean, this is like 10, 12, 15 kids. They all go running back on the other side of the playground looking for his tooth. They run back over. It's still a white rock, you guys. It's another white rock. So they run back over. And she was like, the tooth will be a little bit bloody. And I said, yeah, so look for like, I meant to say a rock with red on it, but I ended up saying a red rock. And they're like, a red rock, we gotta find a red rock. I think they completely forgot that the whole purpose was to find his tooth. And sadly, I don't think he ever did find his tooth. Yeah, it's still out there on the playground somewhere. But I mean, he was proud. I was like, was it loose at least? Like, you didn't just knock it out. But he was like, nah, it was loose. I was like, okay, good. So yeah, losing a tooth on the playground. I don't remember losing teeth at school. I'm sure I might have had to have lost a tooth at some point, not at home. I remember I did pretty well with it. I think I would like when it was loose, man, I would just wiggle it until it came out and just went ahead and took it out myself. Um, but I don't quite remember if I've ever lost one at school or anything like that. But I do remember when you're a kid, when you lose your teeth, you get so excited. At least I did. I was like, yes, like this is part of growing up. I'm gonna lose my baby teeth and get my grown up teeth. And so yeah, so that happened. And then the other thing I want to share, this is a kind of school related thing, but my national boards. Y'all have heard of it. I've been working on my national boards, my maintenance. of certification. It was due on the 16th, which was, I'm recording this on the 16th on Saturday. So it was due today. I already submitted it. I think I submitted it Wednesday. Felt pretty good about it. I'm hoping I did everything right. I hope I did it good. I will not find out the results of if I recertified or not until December. I know it's like the whole end of the year. Like, my goodness, you gotta wait so long. But I will find out in December if I maintained or recertified or what have you. Hopefully I did and will. Just to go ahead and keep that certification, even though I do plan to be off work. It's good for 5 years. So maybe, if I go back within the 5 years, I can at least say, I've been a national board certified teacher for, 10 years or what have you, and can use that to help kind of, get my foot back in the door or whatever. So anyway, that's about all the school stuff that I've got going on. Just y'all, couple more weeks and we almost done. All right. So then I've got my Life with Fee segment. Life with Fee. I need to come up with like a jingle or some type of like thing for all my segments, the different ones that I've got. So I've got my Life with Fee segment. And she had her 4-month appointment. She is weighing a little over 11 pounds. Good job, girly. She's still only in the 20th percentile for her age group, but she's gone up. She's went from the 4th percentile to the 11th to the 18th, and now she's in the 20th. So she's growing. She's doing what she's supposed to do. So I'm very excited about that. She did well. She got a couple of shots that day, and those went well. She cried, of course, but she's easy to comfort. And that, man, I do like that about my baby girl. Like, she'll cry, but I think she does it to communicate and let you know I don't feel good. But she'll take your comfort and she'll be like, okay, and still start feeling better. And she won't cry and she'll, coo and nuzzle you. And it's just the cutest. So that appointment went pretty well. Um, One thing that I have, you would think I would know this. You would think my brain would be able to plan this and that it would come naturally, but it hasn't. But I had an epiphany, and that is I need to like plan to leave 10 minutes before I normally would plan to leave. Okay. I'm sorry it took me so long to say that out. Okay, I need to plan to leave 10 minutes before I normally plan to leave. So for example, if I usually am like, I need to leave at 8:30, I need to tell myself I need to leave at 8:20 because there's always something I need to do because my in my room, and by leave, I mean like leave my bedroom 10 minutes before I need to leave because like everything I need pretty much is in my bedroom. I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, do my hair, etc. in the bathroom. I go to the room or go to the closet, get ready, put clothes on, etc., etc. I pretty much get ready, and in my brain, as soon as I walk out of my bedroom, I'm like ready to go. But I've discovered lately that when I walk out of my bedroom, there is about 10 minutes worth of other things I need to do. I need to change the bottle washer for a fee, clean the bottles from the night before and wash the bottles and to get the bottles ready for the day. And then I need to make sure I have all the things that I need for taking stuff to school. I need to make sure that fee is settled or whatever, or what have you. And there's always this extra 10 minutes of stuff to do. And so I've been trying to do that. And I think I've gotten a little better. So I can be a little more on time because y'all, I've been running like 10 minutes late to work. And so I'm like, okay, if I leave just 10 more minutes, because I'm realizing there are things I have to do after I get ready. It's not just me getting ready, but there's things I have to do after I get ready. And that's what takes about 10 minutes. So in my brain, I'm like, okay, this is an epiphany. I can do this, right? So I've been practicing this week. It's gone pretty well. But yeah, so that is a thing for me. And so I'm throwing that out there, you guys, life hack. You're like, life hack, that's just a basic life skill. You're right, it is. But plan to leave 10 minutes before you originally planned to leave. Because here's the thing, if I have to be somewhere like say 9 o'clock and it takes me 25 minutes to get there, in my brain, I'm like, okay, I gotta leave my house at 8:30, right, to get there. And then I'm like, really? Like 8:25 or whatever. So if I'm saying myself 8:30, 8:25, then I need to actually tell myself 8:15, 8:20, because then I will actually, get out of the house at that time. Um, all right, hold on just a second, you guys. I need to kill this fly that's been in this room forever. Hold on. I think I got him, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay, y'all. I killed the fly. but his body dropped and I have no idea where it dropped. That's terrible. Anyway, okay, so what was I saying? Giving yourself an extra 10 minutes to get out the house. I think it was something like that. I don't know. I don't know where I left off, you guys. Anywho, so just that's a thing. You give yourself a little extra time to get out the house, and yeah, I know it sounds like you should know that, but I'm telling you, sometimes your brain is like, "Oh yeah, I guess I should do some of these obvious things," at least for me. But anywho, okay. So then with my precious little fee thing, we have had 2 long Saturdays, and she has done fantastic with those long Saturdays. Okay. And so these 2 Saturdays, they're both two other things I'd want to share. Anyway, so we'll go right into them. The first one is last weekend. So this past Sunday was Mother's Day. And the day before that Saturday, our ladies do a Mother's Day luncheon, usually at Chewy's, and that's where we went. And I was excited to take my fee. I had us in matching blue dresses with little sneakers, white sneakers. Y'all, it was cute. It was cute. I ain't gonna lie. And we did that. She's been, I'm feeling comfortable with her at restaurants. Like she's doing pretty good. She chills. But then afterward, I really wanted to find a new Mother's Day dress for that Sunday. And I know you're like, really? The day before? Yeah, y'all, I bought probably 6 dresses off Shein. Y'all know I love my Shein. And usually I buy 6 and like keep like 3. Y'all, I kept not a one. Not a one. None of them looked great on me. All of them, it did not work this time around. So I was like, well, I don't have, a Mother's Day dress. And I was trying to find something pink because Fee has a lot of pink clothes and I really don't because I don't wear pink that often. And so I was like, I'm gonna find me something pink and pastel-y and stuff. And I tried on so much, and Fee was with me and my mom was with me. Could not have done it without mom. Okay, let me just say that. So we went shopping at the mall. We went to 2 different malls and 2 different stores, and we stayed out until literally 9:30. And Fee did amazing. You guys, the fly is still alive. Okay. He was crawling behind my mirror. I think I tried to smush him. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. The Fly Saga. Anyway, so after all of that, she did fantastic. I mean, she made it through the whole day. She didn't fuss or complain literally until on the way home. And then I was like, girl, I get it. You've been out for almost 12 hours. Like, I get it. So she did amazing. And y'all, through all of that, didn't find a single thing that I wanted to buy to wear. I did buy some more perfume, yay for that, but that was it. So I didn't find anything, and it was fine. But it was just being out with Fee, like just being with her and with my mom was, I mean, that was cool enough. Like doing one of my favorite things, which is shopping with, some of my favorite people, which just was great. I loved it. But then Mother's Day came that Sunday, and I did have this cute yellow dress that I always liked, that I always thought I felt I looked nice in. And hey, it fit, and I felt like I looked pretty nice in it. And I just happened to find the cutest little like sunflower dress for Fee. And so while she didn't match me exactly, she matched pretty well. Loved it. I was so excited. And then my hubs, he matched us too. And we just looked so good. And I don't mean it like, we were attractive people. I'm not saying we're not, but we are. But like, just, I felt like a cohesive family. Like, I felt like this is me, my husband, my daughter, right? And we like matched together. We looked like we tried to look nice together, and I felt, you guys remember how I said I want to just feel good? I felt good. Now, did I feel skinny? No, because I had just eaten, a teacher appreciations week worth of stuff. But I did feel good, and I felt like confident, and I was like, yes, this is, it felt great. And then my pastor's wife, she preached that Sunday on things that matter, or like the mattering or what. I can't think of the title of her message, but it was about things that matter, and I definitely want to touch on that. But she did phenomenal with that, and then we were able to take pictures, and then we went out to one of my favorite restaurants. Okay. And let me just say, it went downhill from there. Okay. Not from there. That was the only like meh moment, was I went to this restaurant, one of my favorites, called Mesh. And while I was there, I didn't realize that there was a buffet. And I was like, oh, y'all don't have your regular menu. And they're like, nah, we just got the buffet. So I was like, all right, that's fine. We can stay, even though this buffet was expensive for what it was. And it was breakfast food. Well, I won't go into detail, but we had maybe not the best experience. And so I was like, "Rrr," y'all, I was feeling feisty. I was feeling confident. You know, when you're confident, so you're a little more feisty. That was me. And so I did leave a review. And I said, hey, normally I've had the best of experiences, but this last one was just really disappointing. And enough that I felt like I needed to leave a review. And I was going, oh my gosh, there's the fly. How did he not die? Okay, I think I got it this time. Did y'all hear it? Anyway, and so I left a review, and you know, it was one of those experiences. I just felt like I had to, but it wasn't scathing by any means. It was the truth though. It was like I've had amazing experiences before now. This last one was a little disappointing, and for my first Mother's Day, I was just disappointed. And I wouldn't have left a review if I would have had a chance to speak to the manager. But I didn't get a chance to speak with the manager, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave a review because somebody's got to know what's going on. Okay, and there was that. So other than that, Mother's Day was fantastic because then after that, we went back to the house. Mom and dad came over, my sister came over, and we were able to, this was after eating, eat a little bit of, we had some cake pops that we had bought from church that day, which thankfully, because we did not get dessert at the restaurant. So thankfully we did get some cake pops to eat and they were delicious. And then we played our game. So you guys remember where I was trying to get to where the family would play a game at least once a month. And we did pretty good for about, I don't know, a few months in a row. We definitely did. But we kind of fell off on that. I want to get into it again. But we played games. And in fact, this time we've played before, hit or miss, hit or miss. And that one's pretty fun. And so we played hit or miss. And if you don't know about it or if you've forgotten, that's where you get a card and it'll say kitchen appliances or whatever. And so you get 30 seconds for everybody has to write down as many kitchen appliances as they can. And then whoever was the person who pulled the card that said the kitchen appliances, they're writing to. They roll a dice that says hit or miss. If it says hit, then they have to name something off their list that they think other people also got on their list. So, for example, I would have probably said an oven because I'm sure everybody would have wrote oven, right? Now, if I would have rolled a miss, then I have to come up with something on my list that hopefully nobody else got. So for kitchen appliance that nobody else got, I mean, I don't know, y'all, I can't even think of one right now, but that would be the one that I feel like, okay, maybe not as many people got it. Like, let's say the tea kettle or something, right? And so that's an appliance, yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of how that works. So we played that. We did a round of that, and it was fun. And we were just on the back deck. It felt good. The breeze was going through the deck. I mean, it was a fantastic temperature. The game was fun. Fee was just chilling. She was doing great. And I loved it. So I got to be with my mom, got to be with my sister. She got me a couple of gifts. My mom got me this really cute book that was like our first Mother's Day from Daddy and Fee or whatever. And it was so cute. And then some matching clothes with my Fee, which I was like, yay. And then my sister got me some stuff. She got me some smelly goods and a beautiful first Mother's Day card. And my husband, he got me a Mother's Day card that was awesome. It was just what I needed to hear. Stuff like you're beautiful, and these big old bouquet of flowers that still smell good a week later. And a massage that I'm totally looking forward to. It was truly a great Mother's Day. Now it's funny because as wonderful it was absolutely wonderful. And other than, mesh, I don't think I had many negative feelings on that day. And I thought I would feel I thought I would feel like the weight of the last, 8 years and the losses that I've had. I thought I would feel that a bit more, but I didn't. Um, and so I was a little surprised. I was like, now everybody says like that once you've made it to the other side, right? When they're like, if you've waited so long to have a kid and then you finally have the kid, then it's totally worth the wait, right? And I can agree that having my fee is amazing. Worth the wait, in that sense. Worth the pain, worth all of that. Um I'm still learning what to do with that pain. I don't feel it as much anymore, which is great. Mostly, I just feel like I said, just gratitude, just a ton of gratitude and joy, which is so new. Isn't it weird? Like when you've been dealing with pain and sadness for a very long time, and then the cause of that, I was kind of dissipates. Is it gone forever? No. If I have to go through it again, and like, because I want to have another kid, and if I have to go through losses and pain and stuff again, is that going to feel good? No. But it's like where I am now, when you've been in it for so long and then you find yourself in a new place, it's kind of like, huh, like I don't want to say it's surreal. Um, Partly it does feel surreal, but joy is kind of a new feeling. Like I don't want to say it like that. I'm not going to say I didn't have happy moments during the sadness because I totally did. And you guys know I've mentioned like sometimes when I pray, I don't even think it just this last episode or two ago, I was talking about how when I pray, man, like my biggest prayer is just thanking God. Like I don't want to ask God for anything else. Like he's already done enough. Like he's already done something amazing. He already answered this prayer. Of course, I ask him for other things like keep her healthy, keep her safe, bless the family, etc. But to not have the weight of that is it's freeing. It's lifting. And I don't know, it's cool. So this past Mother's Day, it wasn't as heavy as I thought it might feel. It was very light, and that part felt good. The lightness felt nice because pain and stuff is heavy to carry, right? That's why you need God because you can't carry it alone. That's why you need friends because you can't carry it alone. But so it's like having that kind of lightness it's very nice. But anywho, so Mother's Day went great, loved it. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, whatever status of mom you are. I will say it was like when I made a Facebook post, just to share, and I put a Mother's Day like no other because I didn't want to say my first Mother's Day in the sense that like I've had children before, they just died, right? Like or like I've just had losses. I still think of Elena, so I didn't want to say my first Mother's Day in that sense. I don't want to say my first Mother's Day because I became a stepmom with my Sid, and so I was like, it's different. The Mother's Day of being a stepmom versus the Mother's Day of being a mother of children who have passed to a Mother's Day of having a baby in your arms is different. And I think I mentioned that in the last episode. It was different, but man, it was beautiful. And I loved it. It was great. It was great. It was great. Okay, 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 okay. I'm done. I'm done. Mother's Day was great. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, no matter what kind of Mother's Day it was for you. Happy Mother's Day. Respect to you and to your moms. And for those who've lost mothers, their memories are still there. I think about my husband because he lost his mom several years ago now, but obviously, you don't forget that. And so Mother's Day can totally be bittersweet when you've dealt with loss. So happy Mother's Day to the mothers who have gone on, to all those moms. But anyway, that was Mother's Day. And Fee did fantastic both days. She did great all day Saturday, great Sunday. Well, today she had another full day. And that was because I went to another spring festival. So y'all remember when I said my mom and we went to one? It rained and it was fun. Well, it was threatening to rain all day today, but guess what? When it did rain, we didn't get into it. We were at the restaurant eating. So by the time we got done eating, it was done. So a couple of friends of mine, we drove maybe an hour out and went to this cool spring festival, like out in the country. It was so cute. And we stopped by Cracker Barrel first. Okay. Got to get the Cracker Barrel. Got my pancakes. Best idea for my friend because it filled me up and gave me the energy to be able to go to and enjoy this festival without feeling like I need to get all this festival food, which is just food truck food, which always costs expensive, costs a lot, and tastes not as good as it costs, right? Um, so we went to Cracker Barrel first, and by the time we got out of Cracker Barrel, and the rain was up, and this was like, I don't know, 12 o'clock, 12:30 or something, and then we had the rest of the time, it was beautiful weather. In fact, it was a little too hot. We were like, it's hot out here. The sun was out, but there was a nice breeze. It felt amazing in the shade, and Fee was with us, and she did fantastic. She didn't cry at all. The only time she whined a little was when she started to get hungry, but we got that bottle ready, got her with that bottle, and she was good to go. So we did that. We went to the different ones, and you guys, the different booths and things. Y'all remember at the last one? Remember everything that I bought at the last one? All the cookies and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I did it again. Y'all, I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying. I'm trying. But I gotta support people, right? I'm on the quest for the best chocolate chip cookie. When I say I think I bought 5 from different places, y'all. That's terrible. But I will say I've tried one cookie and just so far, yeah, I'm loving it. It's from homemade something, homemade, home style, home something, and it tastes good. It's a little salty, a little sweet, a little doughy, a little, y'all, I don't know. It is so far like my top cookie. This cookie better than my crumble cookie by far. I know. And I love my crumble cookie because I like the softness, the gooiness, the chewiness, the thickness. This one wasn't as thick as that, but it was thick, but it was dense. Like crumble cookies are kind of, I wouldn't call them dense. They're lighter, they're fluffier. They're doughier. This one was dense, like one bite, and you're like, oh my, this is rich, this is good, this is salty, this is sweet, this is everything in one. Really good, really good. And I haven't finished it yet because y'all, it's a massive cookie. And just eating half of it, I was like, oh my goodness, like that took care of my urge, my craving, like right there. Um, but anyway, so that was really good. And they also had a cookie cake. So of course, y'all had to buy that slice of that, and I can't wait to get into that. And then I got these cookies from an Amish family, and y'all tell me why. All right, I get to them. And this is something I just asked everybody. And I didn't think about the fact that they were Amish. And I went to go pay for it. And I was like, "Card or cash?" And she looked at me, she was like, "Cash." And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, yeah, you're right." I just thought it was funny because I was like, "You are Amish. That's true. You probably are like, no, we're not gonna do the card thing and not gonna hook this to our phones. And have you scanned it that way or Venmo cash, please?" But it was just funny because like the way she said it, she just kind of looked at me and was like, "Cash." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." So I got me some chocolate chip cookies from the Amish. I got me from just some bakery places, y'all. But that homemade, home style, whatever one, like legit. When I go back to look, I'll have to let y'all know the name of it so y'all can order some. Because I'm tempted to order some and be like, do you send them? Do you ship them? Do you ship cookie dough? Because it was a really good cookie. So yeah, shout out to the girl who made it. I can't remember her name. It was on her card. I wish I could remember that name of the place. I think it was like homemade, like something simple, like homemade something desserts bakery or something. But that was a fantastic cookie. Now I haven't tried all the rest of them, so they might be just as great. But y'all, with all these cookies, I know, how am I supposed to be watching my calories? How am I supposed to be being healthy? How am I supposed to keep to my 90-day fitness, y'all? I think I took a break for the whole month of May, for the April and May. I think when went back to work, going back to work has made it a lot more difficult. Like I thought it would be easy. Like I thought, okay, taking care of an infant, it's hard to find time to do stuff. Y'all working and taking care of an infant, I don't got time for nothing. And I'm gonna want to eat the cookie. Like work, it doesn't stress me out per se, but after work, just a good cookie sounds amazing. So anywho, I did get all them cookies, but I did go with some friends and it ended up being pretty fun. It was almost a spontaneous trip, like let's just do this real quick. It's only like an hour away, a little less than an hour. And it ended up being just a fantastic time hanging out with people, chatting. It's good. It's good when you get to spend time with people. Outside of the norm, right? And these are church friends. So at church, obviously you know each other, but church it's passing. You say hi, you might, spend a little bit of time together. But as far as like talking, getting to the nitty-gritty, sharing things going on in your lives, you kind of have to do that outside of the church building. Like, that's where you're gonna get those connections. And so we were able to do that and it ended up being really fun. And Fee, like I said, did fantastic. This was her first time like in the heat and she did really good. And I tried the best to like cool her down when I could. And she was charming people right and left, with how cute she was. We had matching outfits. We had these striped dresses. So it was just a good old time. And y'all, I love spending time with my daughter and my mom. Mom was there and it just like having my mom there. it's like the perfect, like, it's me, feet, mom, like a perfect little trio, because with little things, I'm like, hey, Ma, can you help with that? Or, and you know that there's somebody there who loves your daughter as much as you do, and who you like, I know and trust my mom to take care of her. So it takes some of the pressure off, but also like mom's there for me too, but she's there for Fee. It's just great. And it was a wonderful experience. So that was fun. And Fee did fantastic. And mom did fantastic. And my friends did good. And my friend, we went and heard she has a 3-row truck. Y'all, I'm like, I might need me one of those, because you just got space. You got room. You have room. And I'm like, this is nice. And if I want to socialize and bring people along, I'm like, come on, I'm gonna need a bigger vehicle. My husband was like, you can get one when you go back to work. Okay. And I was like, okay, because the gas on that, yeah, I need to be working before I pay for that. But anywho, so Fee did fantastic. That was fun. Loved that. Um, y'all, I did. So this kind of connects to my next point, and y'all, we're about to wrap it up here, but I did go. I finally canceled my gym membership. Y'all have been hearing about these struggles, right? I finally canceled it, but I still have 2 months to use it. I have the rest of May and June. I know, ain't that how it is? Canceled it in April, and I still got 2 months of May and June, because they took the money out for whatever. They're like, you're gonna have to pay for the next one, and you get this and that. Okay, whatever. So I was like, all right, let me go ahead and do some classes and stuff. Y'all, I went back to my fitness class this past week, and it was so fun. I was like, oh, I've missed this. Y'all, I haven't been since like pre-preg, right? Because while I'm getting pregnant, the doc was like, we, don't really want you to exercise. You can walk, etc. Once I was pregnant and was dealing with the subchorionic hematoma, they were like, let's not do like anything. And pretty much the rest of pregnancy, they're like, let's not do anything. So I haven't been able to go to my fitness classes. And then, of course, postpartum, they're like, nothing for the first 8 weeks. And then after that, I'm still recovering from my C-section. So I did go to the gym, and I went to my class, and it was fun. And the instructor, I feel like she recognized me. She was like, oh, hey. And I was like, hi. And I wanted to tell her, you haven't seen me in a year, because I went off and I had a baby, and now I have a baby, and she's so cute, and da 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 da. But I didn't do that. But it was cool to be seen and recognized. And it goes back to, I think, a point I had made, I don't know, a few episodes ago now, probably, about the importance of being seen. Like, you got to show up to be seen, because there's something to it. It feels good when people see you and recognize you. And I think I was saying that at church when I went back after not going for a while. I had watched online, and that was great. But there's something about when I went and people were like, hey, we've missed you, because I had been seeing them, but they hadn't been seeing me, right? And so when I went to this class, I was like, oh, like, she remembers me, and it makes me try harder in this class. It makes me want to do well in this class. And it just brought back, like, gosh, I love being seen. And I mean, not y'all, I hate to say it like that. I love being seen, but really the importance of feeling like, okay, someone sees me. I belong here. Someone knows who I am. Like, I don't think we value that enough. I think because of so much is online, and you can text, or you can see what people are doing on Facebook or whatever, but that face to face, that kind of response, that like, I see you, you see me, in the moment, it's invaluable. And so I'm gonna try to be pushing for moments like that with people this year, which ties into, kind of like my last point was, my pastor's wife I had mentioned talked about things that matter, and making sure that things matter in our lives, and that we're doing them, and that we're sharing them, and that we're building that in our families. And so this week I've been kind of talking, like, thinking, like, when I wake, before I'm about to do something, or when I want to do something, okay, what's going to matter today? What matters? Getting out and exercising matters today. Yes. Making sure I pray today matters today. Making sure I have some face to face time with my daughter today matters. And so, this whole week I've been asking myself, does this matter? Does that matter? Does that matter? This matter? And I've been asking myself, I want to make sure I do this and do that, because those are things that matter. And so, of course, I'm like, okay, fitness matters. So I want to make sure that I take care of my health. I've been trying to sleep better, because you guys remember, you may not remember, but I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I did like I don't want to say a sleep experiment, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed early, like on time, like every day for 2 weeks. And y'all, I lost weight, like a couple pounds, literally not changing my diet or anything, not exercising, but because I slept more. I was like, there's something to that. And maybe it was because I didn't like stay up late eating. I don't know what it was exactly. But I was like, I need to start doing that. Like, just don't eat past 9 o'clock and go to bed at 10. But anyways, I was like, my health matters, making sure I'm healthy with my kid. Jesus matters, right? Making sure I read the Bible, do my devotional, pray. My family matters, making sure that I play games with, like we did that past Sunday, or, spend time with family, face to face time with Fee, face to face time with my husband. All those things matter. And thinking about sometimes the things that I spend time doing that doesn't matter, like scrolling on my phone, playing games on my phone, etc. And so just thinking about that, that's kind of been my like, oh, okay, like being seen. I want to make sure my daughter knows that I see her, and then even my husband, I want to make sure that he knows that I see him, that I appreciate him and the effort that he gives. Like my mom, like I want her to know, my dad, my sister, like the people in my life, I want to make sure that they know that they are seen by me, because they matter and the things that I do with them matters. And Facebook, as wonderful as it is, it doesn't matter how many likes you get. It doesn't matter. Like it's the other real stuff. That's what matters. And so that's what I've been thinking about. That's what I've been asking myself. That's what I've been doing. And I liked it because my pastor's wife had made a point that like sometimes we think it doesn't matter because it feels small. But the daily, day to day things, they matter. She's like, sometimes you think just fasting that one day a week doesn't matter, or that praying 10, 15 minutes a day doesn't matter, but it does. And so that was another thing I challenged myself with. I was like, okay, it maybe doesn't feel that walking 10 minutes today matters, but it matters. It maybe doesn't feel like, that instead of eating 2 cookies, I'm going to eat one matters, but it matters. Or, it maybe doesn't feel like that if I only pray, like praying at this moment while I'm doing laundry, like it doesn't matter. Like I'm praying while I'm doing laundry, like, come on, it's not real prayer. But guess what? It matters. And so even just like rethinking about what matters, because sometimes we'll talk ourselves out of doing things because we don't think it matters, we don't think it's that important, or we don't think it makes a difference. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think part of what she was saying is that it does make a difference. Valuing those things, emphasizing those things, totally make a difference. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to put my effort and my time and things into the things that matter. And I want to do that to for Fee as she grows up. I want her to understand the things that matter and why they matter and why they're important. So anywho, so you matter, you guys. Listening to my podcast matters. I'm just kidding. But no, you do matter. And I appreciate you even just as a listener. I appreciate it when you take the time to listen, when you take the time to, leave a review or a like or something like that. I do appreciate that. And you guys matter to me. You matter to the Lord. And that's another thing that's so important. Like, I'm so glad that I matter to Jesus. Sometimes we forget just how much we matter to him. But we do. And it's a good feeling. Sometimes we forget how much we matter to our family, but we do. We matter. But anyway, you guys, you matter. You're important. You're amazing. Now, y'all, I've had to take a couple of breaks this episode. One, to try to go after that fly, which you probably hear about that. Another one, because my poor baby started crying in the background. So if there were moments where you were like, where did her brain go? Y'all, I had to address some things. But those are the things that matter, right? Not that fly. That fly didn't matter. Well, killing it did. But anywho, all right, you guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Y'all, we're heading into summer in another month. I don't want to rush through spring though, so I'm excited about the spring weather. I love the breeze because when summer comes, y'all, it's hot. It's hot. But I do have, 2 more weeks of work. Yes. If you're a student, we're almost there. If you're a teacher, we almost there. We can make it. So yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. You matter. I appreciate you, and I will catch y'all in a couple weeks.